Good evening. I'd like to welcome department heads and staff to the Tuesday, February 12th Board of Trustees meeting. I'll call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Berry?
Here.
Mr. Morris?
Here.
Mr. Culp?
Here. Mr. Morris, would you please read the Operation Inherent Resolve and Freedom Sentinel casualties, please?
Chief Warrant Officer 2 Jonathan Farmer, Operation Inherent Resolve, January 16, 2019. Navy Chief Cryptologist Technician Shannon Kent, Operation Inherent Resolve, January 16, 2019. Sergeant Cameron Medlock, Operation Freedom Sentinel, January 17, 2019. And Sergeant First Class Joshua Zach Beal, Operation Freedom Sentinel, January 22, 2019.
Captain Stiegelmeyer.
Good evening. The following is a list of casualties for the period of January 5th through February the 6th of 2019. Lieutenant Eric Hosette, 33, Clinton Fire Department, Clinton, Iowa. End of watch, January 5, 2019. Deputy Sheriff Joshua Ryer, Jr., 19, Glasscock Sheriff's Office, Georgia. End of watch, January 29th, 2019. Corporal Shane Toady, 31, Baton Rouge Police Department, Louisiana. End of watch, February 1, 2019. Agent Donna Doss, 49, United States Department of Homeland Security, Customs and Border Patrol. End of watch, February 2nd, 2019. Detective William Brewer, 42, Claremont County Sheriff's Department, Ohio. End of watch, February 2nd, 2019. Trooper Lucas Dowell, 28, Virginia State Police, Virginia. End of watch, February 4, 2019. Police Officer Matthew Rittner, 35, Milwaukee Police Department, Wisconsin. End of watch, February 6, 2019. Canine Abel, 6, United States Department of Justice, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. End of watch, January 5, 2019.
Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. I'll make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Have any discussion on the motion?
Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
Have a fairly light agenda, so we'll move into new business and our acting administrator, Mr. Hess.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight we're coming with Resolution 06, 2019. As you're aware that in 2016, the former board entered into an agreement with Juniper CRE Solutions for marketing of real estate on Wood Road. It is the desire of this board to end that agreement, going in a different direction. So this resolution is to give them 30-day notice to end that agreement. And if you have no questions for me, I will then, Captain Stegemeyer.
Thank you, and good evening again. The only business I have for the board this evening has to do with surplusing of 3 vehicles that are no longer being used or needed for the police department. All we're doing is asking for authorization to go ahead and place these on gov deals to be sold. In your packet, you should have all the information on the 3 vehicles that I'm referring to for this resolution. If there's any questions, I'm glad to answer them.
Mr. Mayberry.
Good evening. I do not have any items for tonight. Are there any questions for me?
How are we doing with salt with the weather that we have had?
I do have a resolution for spring to be effective immediately. So we're at about
second
800
that
tons. So it's a little bit less than half of what we started with. So crews have been very diligent and reserving as they can. So I'm pretty happy right now, but we just We just need spring to get here soon, so.
So just to clarify, in your report, you said that we have about 1,200 pounds remaining in supply, and that's about 50% of what we started with?
Yeah, that was at the end of last month, so we've used about 400 tons since that report was put out. So right now, we stand at about 800 tons.
Any other questions, Mr. Snyder?
Thank you.
Good evening, Board. I have no formal items tonight, but I'd be happy to take any questions if you have any. So.
Mr. Hinkleman?
Good evening, Board. I, too, have nothing for the Board this evening formally. If there's any questions you have for me, I'd be happy to answer them.
Mr. McCord?
Good evening, Board. I, too, have nothing formal for you tonight, but I'll be happy to answer any questions.
President, I turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Hess. We'll now open the meeting for public comments. Anyone wishing to make a public comment, please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record, and you have up to 5 minutes to speak. Anyone like to make a public comment? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment portion of the meeting and move on to resolutions.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 006-2019, a resolution to authorize the acting township administrator to terminate a contract with Juniper CRE Solutions to provide marketing and real estate services. Therefore, be it resolved by the Miami Township Board of Trustees, Montgomery County, Ohio, Sections 1, 2, and 3.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion on the resolution?
Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye. I'll make a motion that we approve Resolution 007-2019, resolution to declare vehicles as surplus property and authorize the sale of said property. Therefore, be it resolved in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code, Section 505.10, the Miami Township Board of Trustees declares that the above listed vehicles as surplus property to be disposed of, sold, or traded in and removed from the police department inventory.
Second. Any discussion?
Mr. Berry?
Aye.
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
We have no public hearings, so we'll move into elected officials' comments. Mr. Newell.
I have nothing.
Mr. Morris. I have nothing. Mr. Culp.
I have none.
And I have nothing either. We have no study sessions or executive sessions, so I'll make a motion we adjourn at 6:07.